Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm Eli Martyr. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Freemelon Society. So, first things first, if you have any negative comments about this preposterous hat that I'm wearing, then here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to buy 8 kilograms of okra. And then I'm going to take it home, throw all that okra into a smoothie, blend it all up until it comes out as that slimy, mucousy substance that we're all familiar with. So then I'm going to hunt you down, find out where you live, bring that okra smoothie with me, remove all my clothes, and then bathe in it. Once I'm thoroughly coated in okra slime, then I'll make sure to give you a swift kick in the gut, which will keel you over. As you're recovering from the swift kick in the gut, I'm going to take a running start and then speed towards you in the keeled over position from the back. I'm going to dive as ferociously and powerfully as I can, 100% commitment, and dive so far up your descending colon that I end up bursting out of your xiphoid process like a goddamn xenomorph. So just wanted to get that out of the way. The reason I'm wearing this utterly ridiculous hat is because I'm doing a charity event for children. I was speaking to one of my neighbors and he told me that he was doing this charity event and it sounded like fun. So I asked him, hey, do you mind if I just pop by? I'll probably be in the area. So yeah, if you're going to be there, then yeah, it's been a while. Might as well come and say hi. So he invited me and he said, hey, do you want to dress as an elf? There's going to be kids there. It might be fun. And before I even considered what the event was, where it was, what the details were, I just said yes immediately. I let the novelty of the situation just convince me. Before I had a chance to think about it, I said yes, dress me as an elf. It'll be fun. It's going to be kids around. I'm sure it'll be a memorable experience. So that's what's happening. Tomorrow, I'm going to be heading to this event and I guess I'll be teaching the kids something. I don't know, maybe teach them a dance or teach them, I don't know, something. Anyway, so that's what's happening. And that's why I'm wearing this ridiculous hat. I figured that I might as well accustom myself to the humiliation of wearing something that accursed jingling. Yeah, I figured I might as well get accustomed to this and shoot a video for you. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, Merry Christmas again. But if you don't know me, then I practice a raw vegan fruitarian lifestyle. Okay, so as much as I have my issues with the term fruitarian, it is the most accurate way to describe my lifestyle. People might think that I say fruitarian, or you hear the word fruitarian and it means that you literally dogmatically only eat fruit. It's not necessarily the case. However, it's the most accurate term that I can use to describe my lifestyle because the lifestyle is made up of primarily fruit. So I live primarily off of fruit and vegetables, nuts and seeds. These are also acceptable fare because you can eat them in their raw state. All right. The reason we are eating a raw food diet is because that is the only diet that Mother Nature has graced and sanctioned for all of her life forms. All the other types of food adulterations and intricate industrial conglomerations of ingredients, all these things are really an abstraction from what nature truly intended to be your food. So that's why we eat only raw food. And of those foods, fruit tends to be the best and most optimized for your human physiology. So that's how I live. And it's Christmas time. We're going to be around family, friends, food indulgences. It's the time to kind of cut loose, let it all hang out, and worry about healthy eating later. That's typically how the holiday mentality goes. So one of the most common questions I get is just, Eli, how do you do it, right? How do you do it? How do you manage to stay so adhered to your healthy lifestyle, even in the context of the world and of holiday seasons and whatnot? So I think I've answered this question many times, but there are many answers. There are many ways that I can answer that question. There are different approaches, different concepts that I've taken on in all the years of understanding and trying to study this type of lifestyle and what true health and vitality actually are. So today, I'm just going to focus on one particular helpful conception that I adopt that helps me stay committed to this lifestyle. I'm even a bit hesitant to use the word committed to the lifestyle because when I say that, I don't know, it feels like there is a disciplinary component to that. You have to stay committed. It means that you have to ward off of all the temptations of the world. I don't want it to rub off like that though, because that's not how I feel. It doesn't feel like discipline. And I know I've mentioned this before. So if you're a repeat viewer, then excuse the little bit of repetition here. But anyway, I'm going to curtail that thought process I was going down. What I'm going to do, let's get back on track here. So I'm going to give you a conception that I've adopted that has helped me maintain my lifestyle. All right. We have a set of instincts. We have a set of instincts that have been gifted to us by Mother Nature to ensure our survival in our environment. This bloody jingling of this hat. Is it trying on your patience? Good, right? Then this is a spiritual test. You have to be able to maintain your concentration in light of distractions, okay? Don't worry, I'm not going to start talking like this. Okay. So we've been gifted these instincts as a way to safeguard our survival. All right. Now, the way I'd been shown or taught or learned to regard this set of instincts is that it's like, you know what? I'm going to use the analogy of fire. Okay. It's one that I've used before. I'm going to use it again. So fire is a raw power. It's a force. It's an element. Okay. The force of fire, the element of fire. Now, fire as an element can be used in many different ways. All right. If it's irresponsibly used, then fire leads to destruction. If it's very responsibly used, it leads to comfort, splendor, energy, power, all sorts of wonderful things that this force of heat can give us if it's responsibly used. And if left to its chaotic state, it leads to ruin. Okay? So your instincts are equated with that lower fire. Okay? They are a force. So we have this raw force of fire. Okay? Now, it can be used by two different agencies. It can be used by the agency of the fallible human mind, okay? Or it can be used by nature, by nature's infinitely intelligent mind. It's two different personas, two different we'll call them individuals for now. Nature, God, okay? And our conscious mind, our human fallible conscious mind. The difference between the human fallible conscious mind is that it can make mistakes. It has the ability to create conceptions that oppose nature's intention, whereas nature is not capable of making those errors. Nature cannot be contradictory. It can't do anything that is opposed to truth, whereas we can. So if we equate the instincts, so the lower base instincts and drives of the human being, okay? Food, eating, and reproduction, okay? Two very, very powerful forces that compel our behavior. If we equate those lower base passions to a fire, all right? We have the two options. One, of using the fallible human mind with potential to create erroneous conceptions. We make that in charge of using this fire, okay, or these lower base drives. And what happens is you can get things wrong. Whereas if you allow a higher intelligence to take control of that element, fire or the lower drives, then what happens is the energy, and this is the important part, the energy of the lower drives, of the lower passions, when you allow them to be controlled by nature, by a higher intelligence, the energy of those forces is transmuted into something better, into something higher, into something more health-sustaining and spiritually unfolding. Whereas if that lower base energy is used by the conscious mind in the wrong ways, okay, in the incorrect way, then that energy can bring ruin. Then that energy can be used in the wrong way, just like fire used in the wrong way can burn down a forest. You can conceptually or metaphorically, burn down a forest in the mind, in the behavior, in the environment, in your relationships. You can cause general conflagrations of the relationships when these lower drives are unintelligently used, okay, or unholistically used. Okay, so what does all that practically look like in the lifestyle? Again, I'm inviting you into my mind. I'm giving you conceptions that I have played with, taken on, learned from, and understood in my own particular way. Okay, so I'm just inviting you in and just letting you know how I think about things so that you get an understanding of why it is that I've been, in my opinion, very successful in maintaining just an unshakable integrity with what I'm doing, even though there are so-called temptations out there to not stick to my guns. Okay, so what does this mean practically then? What it means is that you come to understand these lower base drives as exactly that. These are a tool, an element that are supposed to help you survive. The problem is the environment is no longer the environment that nature designed you to live in. You understand? So that being the case, all of a sudden, the new environment, the new living conditions that we have with modern humanity invites a whole slew of mental conceptions about what it means to be human and what human culture means to us. And like I just said, because of that environment, we now have the ability to develop incorrect conceptions of what it means to be human. And thus, we use the raw element, the fire, in the wrong way, and we produce all of the problems with humanity that you see all over the globe today. So by taking a step back and recognizing that all of the food cravings, all the processed things that I used to consume in my earlier life, right? Coming to the recognition that if I took a step back from those and only relied on what the instincts really do indicate about food, eliminating cooking is a huge step, because when you eliminate cooking and processing, you're only left with fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. So that's why I focus so much on that, because that's such an integral component to reforming your life to the next higher level. It's so important. Anyway, in recognizing that all those things that I used to eat were perversions of this force, were inaccurate, erroneous uses of that force, that instinctual drive for survival. It's almost like the cultural conceptions perverted that force, all right? Perverted the use of that force. Whereas if you take a step back and put that force in the hands of some other entity that is much more intelligent, then what happens is that energy is transmuted into a much more holistic and better relationship with food. So to tie it all together, what I've done is I have taken those base lower passions, okay, that are easily spoiled by the world, by all the things we do in diet culture, and you metaphorically, all right, in an alchemical sense, sacrifice them and offer them up to your higher self, okay, to the other more intelligent entity. And in making such an offering, a sacrifice, you are gifted back something better. That offering, that willful removal from the overindulgences, from the hyper palatable nature of food and diet culture, removing yourself from that, right, allows nature to take the reins once again and then gift you something that is truly health sustaining. Anyway, tying it all together, this is a concept that I've played with and it's really helped me in my life. So understanding, all right, just understanding that those base drives, if I allow myself to be led by them, then you get into the realm of irresponsible indulgence of those drives. Because now that we're in an environment that hijacks and ultra stimulates those things, you have to realize that those drives were not designed for this type of environment. And so you have to put two and two together and recognize, oh, okay, so by continuing to live in subservience to these drives, we get into the realm of erroneous concepts and a hijacking of these senses, Whereas if you recognize that these things are there just to allow you to survive, but their energy must be commandeered by a higher intelligence, either your higher intelligence, like your conscious higher intelligence, and the intelligence of the unconscious, of the even higher realm than your conscious mind, right? That of nature and God. Both of these minds make up you as a being. One of the reasons why I feel like I've been more successful is because I entertain and humor these types of thoughts, this type of interplay of these concepts, right? And it makes what I'm doing make much more sense and allows that kind of very blissful, easy, no thought really necessary, carefree attitude towards doing a lifestyle like this. And it feels wonderful, and then every day it's rewarding. And I just thought I would take a second to share for the holidays with you one of the concepts. And there are many, but this is just one of them that I feel has helped me, okay? Understanding that the base drives are not there to be guiding your behavior. They are there to be harnessed and capitalized on by a higher responsible intelligence. They are not there to lead you. They are there to power the higher aspects of you, which is really what leads you, which is in charge, and it uses and transmutes that energy into something wonderful when it's responsibly marshaled and commandeered. But when you lead from the base instincts, from the base drives, that leads down to incorrect conceptions, and it leads to all the silliness that you see out there in the world today. That's it, guys. So now what we're going to do is we are going to head downstairs into the kitchen, and because it's the holidays, and like I said, it's that time where we like to kind of splurge and have fun. All right, we're going to whip up something in the kitchen that I might prepare if I wanted to indulge and have fun, right? The very human cultural thing that we do. Then I'll show you one of the options that I might be likely to make on an occasion. Let's get down to the kitchen and we'll see what that's about. Okay, so we're back downstairs here in the kitchen. This is what I'm gonna do. Have some blueberries over here. We have some dates. So these dates have been soaked for a while. I don't exactly remember how long, maybe 2 hours, okay? So about 2 hours soaked dates, then I chop them up in the bowl. I didn't do that on camera for you because I just wanted to save some time. So, chopped date, blueberry, and bananas. I think I've mentioned every once in a while on this channel that the combination of bananas and dates, that was a go-to type of very, very satiating and indulgent meal that I would more enjoy in my first year, second year as well. And then after that, I slowly stopped using them as often. But either way, it's always incredibly tasty, and I can't imagine anyone not liking the combination of bananas and dates. So all I'm doing is just adding a whole bunch of blueberries to the mix, and that's the meal. Super simple, okay? So first we're gonna take the bananas, and I don't know, I kind of like to crush them up a little bit so that they make not a smoothie consistency, but something that is able to mix through all the blueberries, okay? So I like that type of consistency when I'm doing a mix like this. Otherwise, I just eat a banana as a banana, but if I'm doing something more involved, then yeah, it's nice to kind of crush them up a little bit. Before I peel it, I'm just gonna crush it up a little bit, just like this. Okay, so crush that up just a bit. And I'm gonna do that to all these bananas. Again, ignore proportions. Add more bananas if you want, add less, add more dates if you want, add less. I don't care, but don't worry about the proportions. This is just the general idea, okay? So I'm just gonna crush up all these bananas just a bit like that, okay? And I'm gonna start smushing these dates. I guess you could buy date paste as well and just use a date paste. There's nothing wrong with that, but the dates are easy enough to work with. All right, so now we're gonna add those bananas. Okay. Very, very simple 3-ingredient meal, not very complex. As much as I do enjoy the occasional, multi-ingredient salad just as much as anybody would. If I'm going complex, I like to keep it around this level of simplicity, ideally. All right, so now we have those bananas and the dates in here. Just gonna mix it all around. This is a base for, I don't know, virtually any type of fruit mix that you'd like to add some creaminess and extra texture to. Mix these dates and bananas up a bit. Okay, perfect. Now all we're gonna do is we're going to add our blueberries, as many blueberries as you want. Oh gosh, oh God, losing blueberries. You can make as much or as little as you want. They'll modify your recipe accordingly. The keto and carnivore people who might be tuning into this are just freaking out right now. Sugar, oh my God, so much sugar, gonna die. If that's how you're reacting to this, well, don't. Save the whys for another lecture. But I've already talked about that in the past, so we don't need to repeat it, at least right now for this little Christmas video. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna add the rest of these blueberries. Yeah, but really there's nothing more to this recipe. I'm just mixing it up until I'm satisfied with how much blueberry I want in all these bananas and dates. Okay, that's looking pretty good. All right, can't wait to dig in.
So technically I'd be that man, right? Oh no, you'd be that man.
Yeah, this is what we're doing tonight.
Yeah.
This is it. Yeah. All right. Well, let's do it.
Heals me.
No, you look good. No, you look good. You look good.
No, you look better than I do. I'm elf-ish because I'm short.
No, I look preposterous.
She said, we are washing dishwashing from 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus said to the disciple, fill the gas with water.
They're laughing at me.
And it was so much, it was a long reading, but there's a reason behind.
What I didn't anticipate was how sweaty it gets when you're in a big, thick elf hat. Holy smokes. In the North Pole, we're not accustomed to this type of heat. Well, it is that time of year again. At the end of every year, the Toronto Stunt community, they throw a Christmas party. And so we are here at the Christmas party. Now, if you didn't know, a whole establishment filled with physically enabled stuntmen and stuntwomen partying together, that's usually a recipe for disaster. I always love coming to these. It's so nice to see all my friends and co-workers all in the same place having a good time, not in a work setting. So yeah, I really look forward to these. And we're gonna go inside and get a little sloppy. Of course, I'm kidding. I don't drink, but somehow it's gonna get a little sloppy, I guess. I don't know. This is what happens when stunt people get together and party, all right? He's talking like he's Australian. She's actually Australian. She's choking him. He's laughing. Bunch of other stunt people watching. Madness. All right, there's our little food bowl. Let's give this a shot. So good. Holy framoly, that's so good. Try it out, guys. If you want a nice Christmas indulgence and you want that indulgence to be health promoting and health sustaining. Oh, this is so good. I'm gonna sit down and enjoy this. All right, guys. Merry Christmas, and we'll catch you very soon. Bye-bye. Oh my God. Wow, this is really, really, really good. Holy.